உந்து மதகளித்தன் ஓடாத தோள்வலியன் நந்தகோபாலன் மருமகளே நப்பின்னாய் கந்தம் கமிழும் குழலி கடைதிரவாய் வந்தெங்கும் கோழி அழைத்தனகான் மதமிப்பந்தல் மேல் பல்கால் குயிலினங்கள் கூவினகான் பந்தார் விரலி உன் மைத்துனன் பேர் பாட ஷன் தமரை கையால் சீரார் வளையொலிப்ப வந்து திரவாய் மகிழ்ந்தேலோர் எம்பாவாய். In the 18th verse of Thiruppavai, Andal speaks about invoking the power before functioning. According to Hindu philosophy, this universe is merely an expression or manifestation of the Supreme Brahman, outside whom nothing can possibly exist. So all these innumerable functions and powers excised in relation to the manifested universe must be rooted in that Brahman and must be ultimately his functions and powers. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, Sayekaha, Saya evam with. He was the seed and he created. The Devis and the Devatas can therefore be nothing but his representation of functions and powers. God is the function and Goddess is the power behind the function. Before we start functioning, we need to first invoke the power behind that particular function. Invoking the power has got 6 advantages. The first, it makes the function more approachable. Second, it works as a catalyst to achieve the goal through that function. Third, it makes us shift our paradigm and achieve higher efficiency. Fourth, it gives us the insights about the function. Fifth, it gives us maturity and wisdom. And finally, it removes the obstacle in performing the function. Andal here says, Undu madakaliru ஓடாத தோள்வலியன் நந்தகோபாலன் மருமகளே நப்பின்னாய். By calling Nappinnai, she invokes the power behind the function, who is Krishna. She talks about Nandagopa having the strength of an elephant. Always, a devoted worker would have serene strength. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshapha. When a person is determined to perform his duties and responsibilities without having desire or passion, at that point in time, I become the strength inside him. Such a worker, such a devoted worker will remain focused without deviating from the ultimate goal. Secondly, Andal speaks about culturing our sense organs. We need to focus our sense organs towards the highest goal of life. She talks about the sense organs being focused towards happiness or ananda. Vandu thiravai mahildu, she says. When she talks about gandham kamilum kulali, she talks about the nose getting the highest ananda. Pandar virali, the skin getting the highest ananda. Per pada, mouth involved in singing about the highest ananda. Valayolippa, ears listening to that ananda. Thiravai is eyes looking at that ananda, delight. She gives the metaphor of 2 birds. One is the rooster and one is the cuckoo. The rooster shouts in the morning, saying that it is dawn. Get up and achieve your goals. The cuckoo sings beautifully. It says, not only going to the goal is important, you need to do it with melody and you need to do it musically. It should be delightful. Here, how do we culture our senses? We should be offering the sense organs to the highest ananda or highest delight. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita the second chapter, 59th verse, he says, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. When we try to control our tongue, all the other sense organs, they become weak. But when we offer it to the highest delight, param drishtva nivartate, at that point in time, they start coming into control. But many a times, the mind may steal the sense organs away from the highest delight. In the 60th verse, Krishna says, Yatatokyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. The senses are so strong and turbulent, O Arjuna, that they can forcibly carry away the mind, even of a person endowed with discrimination, that is Viveka, who practices self-control. The Upanishad says, Indriyani hayanyahu vishayamsteshu gocharan atmanam rathinam vidhi shariram rathamevacha indriyani hayanyahu vishayamsteshu gocharan. The mind should be the reins, and the Lord should hold the mind, hold the reins, so that he controls the sense organs, which are the horses. In the 61st verse, he talks about this. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi syendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. An individual, a devoted individual, a devoted worker who is established in perfect knowledge, who rises in wisdom, would subdue his senses by offering those sense organs to the Lord. Ramchandraji Dongareji Maharaj says, like how we look at the mobile once in 2 minutes to see which group has given what message to us, we need to have a small photo of the Lord. We need to have a small image of the Lord. Every 2 minutes or 5 minutes, we need to drink that divine form of the Lord through the eyes and fill it in our mind. Then the Lord remains with us. In this verse, Andal beautifully tells us, invoke the power before you work. Subdue your senses, culture your senses, and the only way to culture your senses is to give it the highest delight, not something which is having a diminishing marginal utility. You will have to give the senses the appreciating marginal utility, which is the form of the Lord. At that point of time, you will start building devotion towards function and towards work. Namaskaram.